Welcome to Sacred Stillness. This is not a channel for noise, nor a place for empty words. It is a refuge, a soft, quiet space for the soul that feels weary, unseen, or forgotten. In a world that rushes past and rarely pauses, we come here to breathe, to be honest, to bring before God the hidden aches we often carry alone. Here, every prayer is a whisper. Some are long sighs of longing. Others are short, trembling words barely formed on the lips. But all of them rise from the same place, the deep desire to be known, to be loved, and to be held when life feels heavy. Perhaps you have walked through crowded rooms and still felt alone. Perhaps you have been welcomed but never truly wanted. Or perhaps you carry wounds that no one else sees, the silent battles, the invisible exhaustion, and the ache of belonging nowhere. If that is you, Sacred Stillness was created for you. These prayers are not polished speeches or perfect phrases. They are honest cries, quiet offerings, sacred murmurs that invite God into the very places where we feel most small, most unwanted, most lost. Here, in this stillness, you are reminded of one truth. You are not forgotten. You are seen. You are known. And in the heart of God, you are wanted. So rest here. Let the prayers wash over you, and may Sacred Stillness become the gentle lantern that lights your soul in the dark. Whisper from the margins. There are prayers that rise from the center of life, joyful, confident, bursting with gratitude. And then there are prayers that rise from the edges, prayers from the margins, from the quiet corners where no one looks, from the places where a soul stands apart, watching warmth flicker inside the circle, but never quite stepping in. This is one of those prayers. God, I come to you not from the middle, not from the place of belonging, but from the outskirts, from the shadows of connection, from the quiet stretch of land where I feel both close and yet so far. I come carrying the ache of being tolerated, but never truly embraced, of being present but never rooted. And I whisper to you, because even in the margins, my voice still matters to you. I have stood among friends and still felt like an outsider. I have sat at tables where laughter rang, and yet my own heart beat with a rhythm no one else seemed to hear. I have smiled at the right time, spoken the expected words, played my part well enough to blend in, and yet the truth lingers. I did not belong, not fully, not deeply, not in a way that held me, kept me, or wanted me. God, you know this ache. You see how exhausting it is to show up and never feel at home, to wear the mask of belonging when the heart quietly whispers, I do not fit here. You see the weariness in my bones when I keep trying, keep adjusting, keep molding myself into what is acceptable, only to discover that acceptance is not the same as being wanted. Sometimes it feels like standing outside a house with windows glowing warmly. I see people gathered inside, close, comfortable, laughing with ease. The door is not locked. I could step in. They would nod, smile, even greet me kindly. But deep down, I know this. If I left, no chair would be pulled back in longing. No heart would ache with absence. I would be noticed, perhaps, but not missed. And so I stand outside, half in, half out, belonging nowhere, and weary of pretending that I do. God, this is the whisper of my soul tonight. I am not angry, not bitter, just tired. Tired of wondering where I fit. Tired of questioning if my presence matters. Tired of being seen but never known. In these moments, I come to you, because you are the one who knows what it is to be on the margins. You stood outside city gates. You prayed alone in gardens. You were welcomed with psalms and hosannas, then forgotten and betrayed. You know the sound of footsteps leaving. You know what it feels like to be present yet unwanted. And so I whisper to you, not with eloquence, but with honesty. If there is no circle on earth that holds me, let me find my circle in you. If there is no table where I am missed, let me know I have a place at yours. If there is no home that feels like mine, let me rest in the home of your heart. Because sometimes, God, the margins are the only place I can stand. And from here, I need to know that you still see me, that you still choose me, that you still want me. This prayer does not come from strength. It comes from the fragile edges of belonging. It comes from a heart that longs for more than tolerance, longs for more than polite smiles and shallow words. It longs to be wanted, to be desired, to be chosen, not simply allowed. And so, God, I offer you the simple cry. Do not let me disappear into invisibility. Do not let me vanish into the background. Hold me where I am and let me know I matter. Not because of what I bring, not because of how well I perform, not because I fit the shape others expect me to, but because I am yours. I whisper from the margins, but I know my whisper reaches your heart, and that is enough to keep me breathing tonight. The ache of being unseen. There is a special kind of ache that does not wound the skin, does not break the bone, and does not leave a scar that anyone can trace with their eyes. It is the ache of being unseen. The wound of showing up and still being invisible. The pain of being present, yet overlooked, misunderstood, dismissed as though your soul were a shadow that barely mattered in the light. God, you know this ache. You see the tears that never fall, the sighs that never leave the lungs, the heaviness that comes when a person looks directly at me and yet never truly looks within me. They nod, they smile, they acknowledge me, but they do not know me. My words fall into the air, but they do not land in listening hearts. My presence fills a chair, but it does not stir a soul. I am here, but I might as well not be. This, Lord, is the weight I carry. I ache to be seen, not for performance, not for perfection, not for what I can provide, but for who I am beneath all of it. Yet again and again, I walk away from moments that should have been connection and find only emptiness. People hear my voice, but they do not catch my meaning. They see my smile, but they do not notice the pain behind it. They greet me, but their eyes slide away, too busy to linger, too shallow to stay. It is an ache deeper than loneliness. It is the sorrow of invisibility. Sometimes I wonder if my life is like a glass, present but transparent, easy to look through, never noticed until it cracks. Other times I feel like a shadow, proof that light exists somewhere, but never the focus of the gaze. And often I feel like background noise, words that fill the silence, but never the melody people remember. God, do you see me here? When others pass me by, when my name fades from memory, when my stories fall flat in the ears of those I hoped would care, do you still see? When my laugh goes unheard, when my tears are wiped quickly before anyone notices, when my presence is tolerated but never desired, do you still choose me? Because this is what I long for most, to know that even when the world overlooks me, heaven does not. To believe that even when no one on earth notices the details, you do. To trust that even if every circle leaves me standing outside, you step toward me, not away. God, I confess, it hurts. It hurts to pour myself into conversations and feel emptier after. It hurts to sit among friends and feel lonelier than I would in silence. It hurts to try to share pieces of my soul and realize no one has stayed long enough to hold them. It hurts to know that I am seen in body, but invisible in essence. And yet, Lord, you promise that you see, not only the outward frame, but the inward heart. Not only the posture of my body, but the cry of my spirit. You see the trembling that no one else notices, the longing that no one else cares for, the questions that no one else dares to hold. I ache to be seen, and you, my God, are the one who sees. Still, the pain does not disappear easily. The ache remains. It is not erased by truth alone. And so I whisper to you, not as one who is whole, but as one still broken in this place. I bring you the ache itself, the sting of invisibility, the wound of being overlooked. I hold it out to you, asking that you do not ignore it as others have. Because here is the truth. I am tired of being the unnoticed one. I am weary of existing at the edges of sight. I am worn down by the weight of wondering if my presence changes anything at all. So I pray, Lord, look at me, see me, not because I have earned it, not because I am worthy by the world's standards, but because you are yours. And let your gaze be enough. When I sit in silence, let me feel the weight of your eyes upon me. When I walk in a crowd, let me know you notice the steps no one else marks. When I whisper in the dark, let me believe you are listening, even when no one else hears. God, teach me that being seen by you is greater than being seen by all the world. Teach me that your notice is not casual, but intentional, not shallow, but deep, not fleeting, but eternal. Remind me that Hagar, abandoned in the wilderness, found hope because she discovered you as the God who sees. And remind me that I too am seen in my wilderness, not overlooked, not forgotten. The ache of being unseen is real, Lord, but so is the comfort of your gaze. So is the hope of your presence. So is the truth of your love. Let that truth wrap itself around my weary soul tonight. Let it sink deeper than the ache. Let it become the song that whispers louder than invisibility. Let it carry me through the silence of human absence into the fullness of divine attention. God, see me. And in seeing me, heal me. Because I am tired of being invisible. But in you, I know I never am. Welcomed but not wanted. There is a strange kind of sorrow that hides beneath polite smiles and gentle nods. It is the sorrow of being welcomed but not wanted, of being received into a space but never truly embraced, of being allowed to stand within the circle but never drawn close to its heart. God, you know this feeling. You know the ache of walking into rooms where the words are warm, but the hearts are cold. You know what it is to hear, "You are welcome here," and yet to feel the emptiness in those words when they are not rooted in genuine longing for your presence. I confess, Lord, this pain is hard to explain to others. They say, "But you were invited, but they included you, but they let you in." And yes, they did. The door was open, the seat was offered, the space was shared. But deep down, I knew the truth. I was permitted, not pursued. Accepted, but not cherished. Present, but not wanted. It is a wound deeper than rejection because it hides itself in the cloak of kindness. At least rejection is clear, at least exclusion is honest, but to be welcomed without being wanted is to live in the fog of uncertainty where you smile back, participate, contribute, and yet all the while your heart whispers, "If I left, nothing here would change." God, I carry this whisper with me. It follows me through gatherings. It lingers in my chest after conversations. It sits beside me at tables where I laugh along, but deep down, I feel the hollowness. I know the difference between politeness and passion, between being acknowledged and being adored, between inclusion and intimacy. And Lord, I am tired of settling for less, because my soul was not made just to be tolerated. My heart was not crafted just to be managed. I was made to belong. I was created for communion. I was designed for connection so deep that my presence matters, my absence aches, my soul is wanted not for what it can give, but for who it is. God, why is it so rare to find this? Why does it feel like a treasure buried too deep to unearth? Why does my heart keep arriving in spaces where I am received outwardly but never truly drawn in? I have tried, Lord. I have smiled brighter. I have spoken louder. I have worked harder to fit the rhythm of the room. And still the emptiness remains. Still the truth whispers in the silence. You are here, but you are not wanted here. God, I bring you this ache tonight. I do not hide it. I do not pretend that the welcome is enough when my heart longs for more. I confess that I crave to be wanted, not just admitted, to be desired, not just endured, to be chosen, not just included. So I pray, Lord, be the one who wants me. Be the God who not only opens the door, but runs to meet me. Be the Father who not only says, "You may enter," but who embraces me before I can even explain my presence. Let me feel in you what I rarely feel in this world, the unshakable truth that I am wanted, not simply welcomed. Because here, at the edges of human connection, I grow weary. I grow tired of rooms where I am allowed but not embraced, seen but not cherished. Yet in you, Lord, I find hope. Because your welcome is not hollow. Your embrace is not forced. Your desire is not reluctant. You say, I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with cords of kindness. And in those words, I find what my soul longs for, a love that pursues, a welcome that burns with genuine wanting. Still, Lord, the human ache lingers, and so I whisper honestly, teach me to rest in your wanting, even when the world does not. Teach me to trust that your embrace is greater than any circle that leaves me standing at its edge. Teach me to believe that if I vanished from earthly tables, I would never vanish from yours. For in your house, there is no such thing as being welcomed but not wanted. In your heart, there is no such thing as being received with empty words. In your presence, I am not tolerated, I am treasured. Not managed, but loved. Not permitted, but chosen. And so I rest in this truth tonight. Even if the world only welcomes me, heaven wants me. Even if no one notices my absence, you feel it. Even if no one longs for my presence, you do. God, let that truth sink deeper than the ache. Let it wash over every wound where I have felt the hollow welcome of this world. Let it remind me again and again that I am wanted in you, always, forever, without condition, without hesitation. Because in the end, Lord, I would rather be wanted by you alone than welcomed by the whole world without meaning. And so I whisper this prayer from the quiet place of my soul. I am tired of welcomes without warmth, but in you, I am finally, deeply, eternally wanted.
The loneliness in a crowd. There is a silence that lives inside the noise of life. It is the silence of being surrounded and still feeling alone. The silence of laughter echoing in a room while your own heart beats heavy and unheard. The silence of faces turned toward you, but not into you. God, you know this silence. You hear it louder than anyone else, because even when I am in the middle of the crowd, you see the truth. My soul feels stranded. My spirit feels unseen. my heart feels untouched. I have walked through busy streets where thousands of voices filled the air, and yet not one of them reached into the hollow of my chest. I have sat in gatherings, in living rooms, in churches, in celebrations, surrounded by bodies, yet starved of belonging. My ears filled with sound, but my soul filled with silence. And Lord, it hurts. It hurts to laugh along, only to feel emptier afterward. It hurts to join conversations where my words float across the surface, but never dive into the depths of connection. It hurts to sit shoulder to shoulder with people and feel miles away in spirit. The loneliness in a crowd is different from solitude. Solitude can be sacred. Solitude can be chosen, healing, holy. But this loneliness is not chosen. It is not holy. It is not life-giving. It is the ache of being absent in the midst of presence. It is the sting of being unrooted while pretending to belong. God, sometimes I wonder, why is it possible to be so close and still so far? Why can a room be full, yet my heart remain empty? Why does connection seem like water cupped in my hands, always slipping away before I can drink it? This is the cry of my heart. I am tired of the loneliness in the crowd. People see my body, but they do not touch my soul. They hear my laughter, but they do not feel my ache. They stand beside me, but they do not walk with me. And so, Lord, I turn to you, because you do not just see the outside, you enter the inside. You do not just hear the words, you read the silence between them. You do not just stand near, you dwell within. You are the friend who does not let me disappear into the background. You are the companion who notices when my smile is thin and my spirit is breaking. You are the God who does not confuse my presence with my belonging, but who insists that I belong to you. Lord, I ask you to meet me in this loneliness. Do not let the crowd become my cage. Do not let the noise drown out the quiet cry of my soul. Do not let me be surrounded without also being embraced by you. Teach me to breathe in your nearness, even when human nearness fails. Teach me to feel your gaze upon me, even when no one else notices. Teach me to know, deep down, that I am not lost in the multitude. I am held in the intimacy of your love. Because this is what my heart aches for, to know that I am not just another face in the crowd, not just another body in the room, not just another voice among the noise. I long to know that I am distinct to you, desired by you, chosen by you. And you, Lord, whisper back, I call you by name. You are mine. Those words cut through the loneliness. They remind me that even if no one else draws near, you have already come close. Even if no one else sees me, you have never lost sight. Even if the crowd forgets me, heaven remembers me. Still, Lord, the ache lingers, and so I pray again, hold me close in the places where no one else can. Fill the emptiness left by shallow connection. Remind me that I was not made to belong to the crowd. I was made to belong to you. Let me carry this truth into every gathering. I may feel lonely among people, but I am never alone with you. I may ache for deeper connection, but I am already connected to the one who knit me together, the one who knows every thought before I speak it, the one who numbers every hair on my head. God, let this truth be enough to steady me when the loneliness presses in. Let it become the anchor that holds me, the song that soothes me, the light that finds me in the crowd. Because even here, in the middle of the multitude, I am not unseen. I am not forgotten. I am yours.
The body that feels like a stranger. God, there are times when the distance I feel is not only with people, not only in the rooms I walk into, not only in the circles where I am barely included. There are times when the distance runs deeper, when it is not the world outside me, but the very body I live in. There are days when I feel like a guest inside my own skin. I look into the mirror and see a stranger. I carry myself through the hours, yet I do not feel at home in this frame of flesh and bone. Lord, you formed me in the secret place. You shaped me with your own hands. And yet, sometimes it feels as if the shape does not fit the soul. My spirit stretches, but my body resists. My heart longs, but my reflection feels foreign. The very vessel meant to hold me feels unfamiliar, unfriendly, unwelcoming. God, how strange it is to feel out of place even within myself. How heavy it is to wake each day and feel misaligned with the very life you breathed into me. I walk into family gatherings and feel like an outsider. I walk into my own home and still feel distant. And deeper than all of that, I walk within this body, and yet I do not feel it belongs to me. It is a loneliness beyond loneliness, to be estranged not only from others, but from myself. God, what do I do with this? What do I do when the skin I wear feels like clothing that never fits? What do I do when my reflection does not reflect the truth of who I am? What do I do when even silence does not bring peace, because the unrest is not outside of me, but inside? I confess, Lord, it leaves me weary. It makes me wonder if I will ever feel at home anywhere at all. Not in groups, not in families, not in rooms, not even in my own form. But even here, you draw close. Even here, you whisper that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Even here, you remind me that this body, however strange it feels to me, is not strange to you. You know its every line, every scar, every weakness, every strength. You see its frailty and still call it beloved. God, I long for peace with myself. I long to look in the mirror and not flinch. I long to walk through my days without carrying the ache of disconnection. I long to breathe into this body and feel that it is home. So I pray, Lord, teach me to trust the vessel you have given me. Teach me to believe that even when I do not feel at home in it, you dwell within it. Remind me that my body is not only mine, it is yours. A temple even when I cannot see it. A dwelling place even when I resist it. And when I cannot embrace myself, let me rest in the truth that you embrace me fully. When I feel estranged from my own reflection, let me remember that you see me clearly. When I cannot welcome myself, let me believe that you welcome me into yourself. Because, God, there will be days when the disconnection feels unbearable, but there will never be a day when you abandon me in it. You walk with me not only into the rooms where I feel out of place, but into the very skin that feels foreign. You hold me not only in the crowds where I feel unseen, but in the very bones where I feel unwanted. You remind me that even when I feel like a stranger to myself, I am never a stranger to you. Lord, let that truth anchor me. Let it soften the ache. Let it remind me that belonging is not found in mirrors or gatherings, but in you. Let it teach me that even if my body feels like a stranger, my soul is fully known, fully loved, fully wanted by you. So I whisper this prayer tonight. Even here, in this body that feels unfamiliar, in this frame that feels unwelcoming, In this life that feels misaligned, I am not alone. I am yours. And maybe, Lord, that is enough.
The weight of pretending. God, there is a heaviness I carry that few ever notice. It is not the heaviness of work. It is not the weight of responsibility. It is the burden of pretending. I wake up each morning and put on the right expressions, the right words, the right posture. I enter rooms already rehearsing the role I am expected to play. I laugh when I am supposed to. I nod at the right times. I smile so no one suspects. And though the performance convinces the crowd, it exhausts the soul. Because the truth is, Lord, I am tired. Tired of hiding the ache, tired of covering the wounds, tired of pretending that I belong, when inside I feel like a guest at my own life. There is a weight in wearing masks. They may shield me from rejection, but they also rob me of rest. They may win me polite acceptance, but they cost me authenticity. And day after day, I feel the cracks forming. The mask does not sit as easily anymore. The smile falters. The laugh rings hollow. The effort of holding it all together leaves me weary in ways words cannot explain. God, you see through the mask. You are not fooled by my rehearsed lines or my carefully chosen gestures. You see the exhaustion beneath the surface, the trembling hands behind the folded smile, the breaking heart behind the polite words. And though others applaud the performance, you hear the silent cry, I don't want to keep pretending. Lord, I confess, I wear these masks because I fear what will happen if I remove them. Will I be left alone? Will the rooms empty if I reveal my real self? Will the people who tolerate me turn away if they discover the weight I carry? Pretending feels safer. Pretending feels necessary. And yet, pretending is killing me. Because how long can a soul survive without honesty? How long can a heart breathe beneath layers of disguise? How long can I endure the performance without losing the person I really am? God, I bring you this burden tonight, the weight of pretending. I lay it at your feet because I cannot carry it anymore. I do not want to live as an actor in my own story. I do not want to wear masks just to be tolerated. I do not want to trade truth for acceptance. So I pray, teach me to trust that in you, I can be real. Teach me to believe that even if no one else can handle the truth of who I am, you already hold it all. Teach me that you desire the honest heart, not the polished act. Teach me that the prayers you love most are not the ones perfectly spoken, but the ones whispered through tears, trembling, and honesty. Lord, remind me that you never asked me to pretend. You never called me to perform. You did not breathe life into me so I could spend it hiding. You are the God of truth, and you love me as I truly am, messy, weary, unfinished. Let that truth set me free. Because God, I want to breathe again. I want to wake up and not feel like I'm stepping onto a stage. I want to speak words that rise from my heart, not just from my script. I want to smile because joy is real, not because silence is suspicious. I want to live unmasked. But until I can, I need you to carry me. I need you to remind me that even when I pretend for others, I am real before you. Even when I fake composure for the world, I can crumble in your presence. Even when I cover myself in masks, you already see beneath them, and still, you love me. So I whisper this prayer with all the honesty I can bear tonight. God, I am tired of pretending. If the world will not want me as I am, then let me rest in the truth that you always will.
The question of belonging. God, I carry a question that lingers, deeper than all others. It is not about what I will achieve. It is not about what I will gain. It is not even about what tomorrow will bring. It is the simple, aching question that rises every time I stand in silence. Where do I belong? I have walked through friendships that never grew roots. I have sat at family tables and still felt like a visitor. I have joined in songs of worship and still felt apart,
as though the melody moved around me but never through me. And I wonder, God, is there anywhere on this earth where my soul can rest and say, this is home? This is where I fit. This is where I am wanted. The question does not go away. It follows me into the morning light and lingers with me in the night. It haunts conversations, it shadows laughter. It presses against the walls of my heart when silence grows too heavy. Where do I belong? Lord, I confess, I have tried to answer it on my own. I have bent myself into shapes I was never meant to hold, hoping that someone would say, yes, you fit here. I have softened my voice when I wanted to shout. I have spoken loudly when I wanted to stay quiet. I have agreed when I longed to resist. I have worn the colors of the crowd, hoping the disguise would earn me a place among them. But the belonging never lasted, because the moment I let the disguise slip, the silence returned. The moment I revealed my true self, the circle closed again. And the question burned louder. Where do I belong? God, you see how much this question weighs on me. It is not the kind of question I can laugh away. It is not the kind of ache I can bury. It strikes at the very core of what it means to be human, to long for a place, a people, a home where presence is not just endured, but cherished. And so I bring the question to you, God, not because I expect an easy answer, but because I know you hold me in the asking. You do not dismiss the longing for belonging. You do not shame the ache of wanting to be wanted. You created me for connection. You made me for communion. And you know the wound when those longings go unmet. So Lord, show me again, where do I belong? Do I belong in the crowd or in the quiet? Do I belong in the family that does not understand or in the circle that does not stay? Do I belong in places where I am welcomed but not wanted? Or is there something deeper, something truer, something more eternal? Remind me, God, that my truest belonging has never been tied to geography or group. It has never depended on whether others keep me close. It has always been anchored in you. You whisper, you belong with me. You remind me, you are mine. You declare, I go to prepare a place for you. And suddenly, the ache begins to shift. The question does not vanish, but it is reframed. The longing does not disappear, but it is met with promise. Because if I belong nowhere else, I still belong in you. If no circle claims me, if no home welcomes me, if no friend stays near, you do. You claim me, you welcome me, you stay. God, let this truth root itself deep in my weary heart. Let it grow stronger than the ache. Let it remind me again and again that while the world may never give me a place where I fully belong, I have always already belonged in you. So I rest in this tonight. I am not homeless. I am not rootless. I am not unwanted. I belong in the arms of the one who made me.
The silent pain of tolerance. God, there is a sorrow that does not scream. It does not crash like thunder. It does not wound with sharp words. It simply lingers quietly in the background of the soul. It is the sorrow of being tolerated. I know what it is to be smiled at politely, to be spoken to with courtesy, to be included in the way that checks a box but never touches a heart. I know the difference between welcome and warmth, between endurance and embrace. And I know how deeply it hurts to realize that my presence is not desired, only managed. Lord, this is a wound people rarely talk about because it hides beneath good manners and social kindness. No one pushes me away, no one tells me to leave. The words are friendly, the gestures are civil, and yet beneath it all, the truth is unmistakable. I am not wanted, I am tolerated.
And God, tolerance may sound noble to some, but to the heart it feels like exile with a smile. I ache, Lord, because my soul was not made just to be endured. I was not formed in your image only to become a burden others politely bear. I was not breathed into life so that people could sigh with relief when I leave the room. I long for more than tolerance. I long for embrace. But too often, I find myself sitting in chairs that were set for me but not saved for me. I find myself included in conversations where my words are acknowledged but not cherished. I find myself invited to spaces where my presence keeps the numbers even, but my absence would change nothing. God, the pain of this is hard to name because it hides itself in kindness. If I say I feel unwanted, people point to the smiles, the invitations, the gestures of inclusion. If I confess that I feel invisible, they say, "But didn't they talk to you? Didn't they let you stay? Didn't they say you were welcome?" And I have no way to explain that welcome without warmth is just a different kind of loneliness. So I bring this pain to you, the silent pain of tolerance, because you understand it more than anyone. You too were welcomed with words but rejected in hearts. You too were received in cities that quickly turned away. You too stood before people who nodded politely but never wanted the depth of who you were. Lord, if the world will only tolerate me, let me remember that you embrace me. If others endure my presence, let me believe that you delight in it. If my absence goes unnoticed among people, let me rest in the truth that heaven misses me when I wander away. Still, the ache remains, and so I pray, God, do not let me confuse tolerance with love. Do not let me settle for endurance when I was made for embrace. Do not let me carry the lie that I am a burden too heavy to be wanted. You remind me that you do not merely endure me, you rejoice over me with singing. You do not just allow me into your presence, you run to meet me. You do not simply tolerate me, you chose me before the foundations of the world. God, let this truth sink deeper than the ache. Let it remind me that even if every earthly circle only tolerates my presence, I am fully embraced in yours. Let it heal the wound of polite exclusion. Let it teach my soul to rest, not in the smiles of people, but in the joy of my Creator. Because I cannot live on tolerance. My heart needs love. My soul needs belonging. My spirit needs a place where it is wanted, not simply endured. And if I cannot find that place here, then let me find it always in you. So tonight, Lord, I whisper this prayer. When I feel tolerated, remind me I am treasured. When I feel endured, remind me I am embraced. When I feel like a burden, remind me I am a beloved child. This is the truth I cling to. I am not merely tolerated by you, I am wanted, I am chosen, I am loved. And that truth, Lord, is enough to keep me breathing when the silence of tolerance grows too loud.
Exhaustion of showing up. God, there is a weariness that runs deeper than physical fatigue. It is not the tiredness of the body, but of the soul. It is the exhaustion of showing up, again and again, to places where my presence feels hollow, to gatherings where my being there makes no difference, to moments where I am counted but never cherished. I come, Lord. I sit in the circle. I smile, I nod, I play my part. And outwardly, no one sees the cost. No one sees the heaviness that lingers when I walk away. They see me present, but they do not know how much strength it takes just to arrive. Because showing up when belonging never follows is draining. It is like pouring water into a cup with no bottom. No matter how much I give, it is never enough to fill me. I leave emptier than when I came. God, I confess, there are times when I wonder why I keep showing up at all. Why keep sitting at tables that do not miss me when I'm gone? Why keep entering rooms that never notice when I slip into the corners? Why keep speaking words that never sink deep into listening hearts? And yet, I do. I keep coming. I keep hoping. I keep trying. And every time the exhaustion grows heavier. Lord, you see this weariness. You see the part of me that wants to stop attending, to stop pretending, to stop forcing myself into spaces where my soul is never at rest. And you see the guilt that follows that thought, the fear that if I withdraw, I will only prove that I never belonged. So I keep showing up, Lord, even when it drains me, even when it empties me, even when it feels like walking through a door that will never open into home. But tonight, I bring you the truth. I am tired of showing up to places where I am invisible, tired of carrying the weight of presence without the gift of belonging, tired of being present in body but absent in heart. God, I need you to meet me here. I need you to remind me that showing up is not what defines me, that my worth is not measured by attendance, that my belonging is not proven by presence in spaces that never embrace me. I need you to free me from the lie that I must keep performing just to exist. You, Lord, never ask me to show up perfect. You never ask me to arrive polished. You never ask me to prove I belong. You simply ask me to come, weary, broken, honest. And when I do, you do not just count me. You welcome me. You embrace me. You delight in me. So teach me, Lord, that showing up in your presence is enough. Teach me that I do not need to exhaust myself proving my worth to others when I am already chosen by you. Teach me that even if the world never notices, you always do. Because I long to rest, God, to rest from the weight of pretending, to rest from the ache of invisibility, to rest from the exhaustion of showing up without being rooted. Let me rest in you. When I walk into rooms where I feel unseen, whisper to me, I see you. When I sit at tables where my absence would not matter, remind me, you matter to me. When I wonder if it is worth showing up at all, draw me into your presence and remind me, I am enough for you, and you are enough for me. God, release me from the endless cycle of showing up only to be emptied. Teach me instead to show up where you are, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the sacred space where my soul is always received, always known, always wanted. Because in the end, Lord, it is not the crowd's recognition that sustains me, it is your embrace. It is not the world's welcome that fills me, it is your love. It is not the exhaustion of proving my place that keeps me alive, it is the rest of knowing I already have one in you. So tonight I whisper, God, I am tired of showing up where I am never rooted. Draw me instead to show up where I am always home, in you. The cry of the misfit soul. God, there is a cry inside me that words can barely carry. It is not the cry of anger, though sometimes frustration trembles in its tone. It is not the cry of bitterness, though pain often sharpens its edges. It is the cry of a soul that feels misplaced in the world, a misfit in every space it enters. I walk through life like a puzzle piece that does not belong to any box. I press myself into shapes that almost fit, but never quite. The corners are wrong. The edges don't align. The image is never complete. And each time I try, each time I force myself into place, the truth echoes again. I do not belong here. Lord, I confess, this cry has followed me everywhere. Into friendships where laughter was real but shallow, into families where love was spoken but not felt, into churches where welcome was offered but intimacy was absent. No matter where I go, no matter what circle I enter, the same cry rises up. I am not at home here. It is not that I am rejected outright. It is not that I am cast away. It is simply that I never seem to fit. My presence is allowed, but my essence is foreign. My body stands among others, but my soul lingers apart. God, you see how exhausting this is. You see how lonely it feels to live as the misfit soul, always near, never rooted, always present, never planted. Like a seed scattered on stone, I long to grow, but there is no soil deep enough to hold me. And so, Lord, I cry out to you, because if I do not belong anywhere else, then surely I must belong in you. If no circle embraces me, then let your arms surround me. If no home claims me, then let your heart be mine. Still, Lord, the ache does not vanish. The cry does not silence easily, because I want to belong not only in heaven, but here on earth too. I want to know what it feels like to walk into a room and sense that my presence matters. I want to know the comfort of sitting at a table where I am not just accepted, but wanted. I want the warmth of being rooted in a place that welcomes all that I am. But again and again, I find myself outside the circle, on the margins, at the edges. And so the misfit soul within me keeps crying, where do I belong? Why was I made this way? Why is there no place that feels like home? God, perhaps this is part of the mystery, that I was never meant to feel fully at home in a world that is not eternal. Perhaps the ache is a compass pointing me toward you. Perhaps the misfit soul is not broken, but simply restless for the home it has not yet seen. Still, Lord, the waiting is hard. The wandering is wearying. The cry is relentless. So tonight I bring it all to you. I bring the puzzle piece that doesn't fit, the seed that cannot root, the traveler who never finds rest. I bring the misfit soul that longs for belonging, and I place it in your hands. God, teach me to rest in the truth that even if I never fit here, I will always fit in you. Teach me to believe that even if I am a misfit in every earthly circle, I am a perfect fit in your eternal one. Teach me to carry the ache honestly, but also to carry the hope that one day the cry will be silenced by belonging at last. Because one day, Lord, the misfit soul will find its home. One day, the puzzle piece will complete the picture. One day, the seed will sink into eternal soil and grow without end. One day, the cry will be answered, and the ache will give way to joy. Until then, Lord, hold me in this cry. Do not let it consume me. Do not let it convince me that I am worthless. Do not let it silence the truth that even in my misfit state, I am wanted, chosen, loved by you. So I whisper this prayer tonight. God, I am a misfit soul crying out for home. And though the world does not claim me, you do. Though the circles do not hold me, you do. Though no place feels like mine, I am always, endlessly yours. And that truth, Lord, is enough to carry me until the cry finally rests.
God, do you see me here? God, I need to ask you a question that sits heavy in the quiet places of my heart. It is not polished. It is not wrapped in faith that sounds strong. It is fragile, trembling, almost ashamed to speak aloud, but I cannot hold it back anymore. God, do you see me here? Here, in the middle of the life that feels invisible. Here in the crowd that does not notice. Here in the silence no one else hears. Here in the ache that never finds words. Do you see me? I know what people say. They say you see all things.
They say you watch every sparrow fall, that you count every hair on my head, and I want to believe it, Lord. I truly do. But some days, the ache of invisibility is so strong that it slips into my prayers and whispers, if no one else notices, maybe God doesn't either. It is hard to believe I am seen when I feel so easily forgotten. It is hard to believe I matter when my absence leaves no mark. It is hard to trust that your eyes are on me when every human eye seems to pass me by. So tonight, I bring you this question, not because I doubt your power, but because I crave your presence. Not because I question your greatness, but because I long for your gaze. I need to know, God, not just in my mind, but in my heart, that you see me here. Do you see me when I walk into a room and feel the air close tight around me? Do you see me when I sit quietly at the edge of conversation, unheard, unnoticed? Do you see me when I go home alone, when I lay my head down with silence as my only companion? Do you see me when I cry softly into the night, hoping no one will hear, but desperately wishing someone would care? God, do you see me here? Because this is the cry of my soul. I cannot bear the thought of being unseen by you. If the world overlooks me, I can endure. If people forget me, I can survive. But if you did not see me, if you did not notice me, then I would truly be lost. So tell me again, Lord, you see me. Whisper it into my weary soul until I believe it. Remind me, as you reminded Hagar in the wilderness, that you are the God who sees. Let me know that even when I am hidden in shadows, I am never hidden from you. I want to feel the weight of your gaze upon me, not a gaze of judgment, not a gaze of indifference, but the gaze of love. I want to know that when I speak, you listen, that when I move, you notice, that when I fall, you bend low to lift me. Because, Lord, I am tired of being invisible. I am tired of living unnoticed. I am tired of wondering if my life makes any difference at all. But if I can trust that you see me, if I can rest in the truth that I matter to you, then perhaps I can keep walking, keep breathing, keep hoping. So tonight, I ask for one thing. Let me feel seen. Let me sense your eyes on me when no one else looks my way. Let me believe that my every step is held in your attention, that my every breath matters to heaven, that my every tear is caught by your hand. Because to be unseen by the world is painful, but to be unseen by you would be unbearable. Yet I cling to this truth. You have never overlooked me. You have never forgotten me. You have never turned away when I called. You saw me before I was formed. You saw me in my mother's womb. You saw me when no one else cared to look. And you see me still. So I whisper again, almost like a plea, almost like a song, God, do you see me here? And I hear your answer in the silence. Yes, child, I see you. I always have, I always will.
Longing to be chosen. God, there is an ache in my soul that no amount of polite welcome can heal. It is the ache of longing not just to be allowed, not just to be accepted, but to be chosen. To be chosen is different from being tolerated. To be chosen is different from being included. To be chosen is different from being invited only because someone had to extend the invitation. To be chosen is to be wanted, to be sought after, to be desired for who I am, not just endured for what I offer. And God, this is what my heart longs for most. I confess, Lord, so often I feel like the leftover piece, the friend added to the group only because there was space, the name remembered only when needed, the presence acknowledged but not pursued. And deep inside, a question burns quietly. When will someone choose me? Not because they had to, not because it was polite, not because no one else was available,
but because their heart said, I want you. I want your presence. I want your soul beside mine. God, you know the sting of never being chosen first, of always being the extra, the afterthought, the one standing on the sidelines waiting for someone to turn and say, yes, you. That sting has carved lines of weariness across my soul. It has taught me to shrink, to stay quiet, to stop hoping. And yet the longing never dies. Because I was made for more than endurance. I was made for more than polite inclusion. I was made for belonging, real, rooted, chosen belonging. God, this is my prayer tonight. If the world never chooses me, let me rest in the truth that you already have. If no hand on earth ever points to me and says, that one, I want that one, let me remember that the hand of heaven has already done so. If no voice in the crowd ever calls my name with longing, let me hear yours whispering, I have called you by name. You are mine. Still, Lord, the human ache is real. And so I ask you, when the nights feel heavy, remind me I am chosen. When the silence presses in, remind me I am wanted. When my heart grows weary of waiting, remind me that your choice is not reluctant, not half-hearted, not conditional. It is eternal. Because your choice was made before I ever breathed. Your love was set upon me before the foundations of the earth. And even when I doubt my worth, even when I feel invisible, you look at me and say, I choose you. Always you. God, let this truth sink deeper than the ache. Let it quiet the question. Let it soothe the longing. Let it remind me that while the world's choosing may fail, yours never will. I long to be chosen, Lord, and in you, I already am. So I whisper this prayer tonight. When no one else calls my name, let me hear yours. When no one else chooses me, let me rest in the truth that you already have. When my soul aches for belonging, let me remember that I belong to you, and that is the deepest choice of all.
When home feels nowhere. God, there is a word that carries both comfort and longing. It is the word home. A word that should feel warm, safe, steady. A word that should carry images of belonging, of rest, of being wanted. But Lord, for me, that word often feels like a question mark. Because everywhere I go, the ache returns. This does not feel like home. I sit in the house I grew up in, and yet my heart feels like a guest. I walk into gatherings of family, and still I feel like an outsider. I enter circles of friends, and laughter surrounds me, but not within me. I lie in my own room at night, and still I feel like a wanderer. God, where is home when every place feels foreign? Home is supposed to be the place where absence is noticed, where presence is wanted, where belonging comes naturally. But too often, Lord, my life feels like a collection of places where I am present but not rooted, welcomed but not wanted, counted but not cherished. And so the word home becomes heavy. It becomes something I chase but never catch, something I reach for only to discover it was never truly there. God, you know this ache. You know what it is to have nowhere to lay your head. You know what it is to walk through towns and villages, welcomed by some, rejected by others, but never truly at home. You too carried the ache of a world that could not hold you. So perhaps that is why this longing feels so sharp, because deep down my soul knows what home should feel like, and it knows it has not found it yet. Lord, I confess, I am tired of wandering, tired of searching for home in places that leave me restless, tired of building roots in soil that cannot hold me, tired of pretending a house, a group, a gathering can satisfy the ache when the truth is they cannot. Because home is not just walls and roofs. Home is not just tables and chairs. Home is where love is real, where belonging is certain, where presence is wanted, where absence is felt. And Lord, I have not found that here. So I turn to you, because if home is nowhere else, then it must be in you. If I do not belong anywhere else, then I must belong in your heart. If every door closes to me, then I trust that yours never will. God, let me believe that you are my home. Not a place, not a crowd, not even a feeling, but you, steady, unchanging, eternal. Because when I rest in you, the ache softens. When I lean into you, the wandering slows. When I remember that you have called me your own, the word home begins to feel possible again. Lord, I long for the day when home is no longer nowhere, when the wandering ends, when the ache is silenced, when I step into the place you have prepared for me, and my soul finally whispers, "This is it. This is home." Until then, God, hold me in the in-between. Hold me when the house feels empty. Hold me when the gatherings feel shallow. Hold me when my own body feels foreign. Hold me until the word home is no longer a question, but an answer, found fully in you. So tonight I whisper this prayer. When home feels nowhere, let me rest in you. When belonging feels absent, let me belong in you. When the ache grows heavy, let me remember that one day the wandering will end. And in that day, home will not be nowhere. Home will be forever.
The invisible wounds. God, not every wound bleeds. Not every scar is visible. Not every injury shows itself on the skin. Some wounds hide deep within the soul. They are the wounds of silence, of being unseen, of being tolerated instead of embraced. They are the aches of belonging nowhere, the bruises left behind when presence is endured but never wanted. And God, these invisible wounds are the ones that weigh on me most. No one asks about them because no one sees them. No one tends to them because no one notices they are there. I walk into rooms with a smile and people assume I am whole. I carry myself through the day and the world believes I am strong. But inside, the fractures remain, quiet, sharp, relentless. God, you see them. You see the wounds others cannot. You notice the cracks in my heart that never make a sound. You watch the way I hold myself together, all while pieces fall apart beneath the surface. You know how much I ache beneath the layers of composure. Lord, I confess it is hard to carry wounds that no one else acknowledges. When pain is visible, people rush to help. When sorrow is obvious, compassion is quick to arrive. But when pain is hidden, when sorrow hides behind smiles, the world keeps moving as if nothing is wrong. And so the wounds deepen. They fester in the quiet. They ache in the silence. God, tonight I bring you these invisible wounds. I cannot keep pretending they do not exist. I cannot carry them alone. I cannot keep bleeding inwardly while the world sees only strength. So I whisper, heal me. Heal the wounds no one else knows about. Heal the scars that have never been touched. Heal the bruises that live only in the secret places of my soul. Because these wounds are real, Lord, they shape me in ways others cannot see. They change the way I walk into rooms. They alter the way I trust. They build walls I cannot tear down.
And though no one else may notice, you do. You see every fracture. You feel every ache. You count every tear that never falls. God, let your presence be the balm. Let your love be the salve. Let your gaze be the gentle hand that finally tends to what has long been ignored. Because my soul is weary of carrying pain that no one else acknowledges. My heart is tired of bleeding invisibly. Lord, remind me that being unseen by people does not mean being unseen by you. Remind me that while the world overlooks the hidden wounds, heaven bends low to heal them. Remind me that your Son bore wounds too. Wounds misunderstood, wounds mocked, wounds carried in silence. And because he bore them, mine are never forgotten. God, give me courage to stop hiding from you. Give me strength to bring even the invisible ache into the light of your love. Give me peace to trust that healing is possible, even for wounds that have lived in silence for years. Tonight, I whisper this prayer. When no one else notices, you do. When no one else heals, you can. When no one else cares, you already have. And so I bring you my invisible wounds, not hidden anymore, not silenced anymore, but placed in the hands of the one who sees all things. The tired soul that keeps knocking. God, I am tired, not only in body but in soul, not only in strength but in spirit. I am the tired soul that keeps knocking. I knock on doors of friendship, hoping someone will open wide with joy. I knock on doors of family, longing for arms that hold instead of hands that push away. I knock on doors of belonging, searching for a circle that says, "We want you here, stay." Sometimes the doors crack open, sometimes there are polite smiles, short welcomes, quick gestures that say, "You may enter for now," but Lord, they never last. The doors close again, gently but firmly, leaving me outside once more. And still, I keep knocking. Because there is something in me, a stubborn hope, a fragile faith that refuses to give up. I knock though I am weary. I knock though I am discouraged. I knock though my hands grow sore from the effort. God, you see me here. You see me at the threshold, pressing against the wood, hoping for a sound on the other side. You hear the rhythm of my knocking, not just the sound of my knuckles, but the ache of my heart. And Lord, I confess, I am tired of it, tired of asking to be let in, tired of waiting for someone to notice, tired of pressing against doors that may never open. Yet even in my exhaustion, I remember what you once said, "Knock, and the door will be open to you." You did not say it would be easy. You did not say it would be quick, but you promised that no knocking is wasted when it is directed toward you. So God, tonight I turn my weary hands away from the doors of this world, and I place them upon yours. I knock at the door of your heart, not because I deserve to be welcomed, but because you have already promised that I am. I knock not as a beggar uncertain of a response, but as a child certain of a father's embrace. Still, Lord, the human ache lingers, because my soul longs not only for heaven's embrace, but also for earthly connection. I long for people who open wide, not reluctantly but joyfully. I long for doors that stay open, for circles that hold, for belonging that does not fade. But until that comes, I will keep knocking here, at your door, at your presence, at your love. Because only you can hold the tired soul that refuses to quit. Only you can welcome me in ways that heal what others cannot. Only you can give rest that goes deeper than the ache. So God, hear me tonight. I am tired, I am weary, I am fragile, but I am still knocking. Not because I have strength, but because I have nowhere else to go. Not because I am confident, but because I am desperate. Not because I expect the world to open, but because I know you always will. Let me feel your hand on the other side. Let me hear the turning of the lock. Let me sense the door swinging wide with joy.
Let me step inside and finally rest, not as a stranger, not as a tolerated guest, but as a beloved child in the house of my Father. So tonight my prayer is simple. When I grow tired of knocking on empty doors, remind me that yours is never closed. When I grow weary of waiting for others to welcome me, remind me that heaven rejoices each time I draw near. When I feel like giving up, remind me that you never give up on me. I am the tired soul that keeps knocking. But I know, Lord, that one day I will not knock in vain.
The outskirts of connection. God, I know what it feels like to stand at the edges. Close enough to hear the laughter, but not close enough to join it. Close enough to see the circle, but not close enough to belong within it. Close enough to taste the warmth, but not close enough to feel its fire. This is the life of the outskirts, the place where connection exists, but always just beyond reach. Lord, I confess I have spent so much of my life here, smiling from the sidelines, listening without speaking, watching the circle tighten without ever finding a way in. It is a strange existence, to be included but not embraced, welcomed but not wanted, present but not connected. And it hurts. It hurts to know the sound of intimacy without the touch of it. It hurts to hear stories being shared but never told to me. It hurts to be close enough to feel the heat of belonging but never its warmth. God, you see me here, on the outskirts of connection. You see how my soul longs to step closer, to be drawn in, to be wanted enough that someone would reach out and say, "Come, sit with us. We need you here." But more often, I am left outside, not rejected, just unchosen, not excluded, just unnoticed. And the outskirts become my home, a home filled with longing, but not belonging. Lord, I bring this ache to you tonight because I do not know how to move closer. I do not know how to cross the invisible line between being present and being truly connected. I cannot force others to want me. I cannot make circles open wide. And so I remain here, watching, waiting, aching. But even here, you are with me. Even on the outskirts, your presence does not leave. Even when human circles close, your arms stay open. Even when my heart aches with distance, your love draws near. So God, teach me to believe that being on the outskirts of people does not mean being on the outskirts of you. Teach me to rest in the truth that your circle never excludes, never tightens against me, never leaves me standing outside. Teach me that while the world may not reach for me, you already have. Because, Lord, my soul longs for connection. Not shallow, but deep. Not polite, but real. Not temporary, but eternal. And though I may not find it fully here, I trust that one day I will. Until then, let me breathe in the comfort of your nearness. Let me find peace in knowing that I am never truly on the outskirts of love when I stand in your presence. Let me trust that even if every earthly circle leaves me outside, I am already inside the only one that matters, yours. So tonight, I whisper this prayer. God, when I feel the ache of the outskirts, draw me into you. When I long for circles that never open, remind me that yours already has. When I grow weary of watching warmth I cannot touch, let me rest in the fire of your love. Because with you, I am not on the edge. With you,
I am not on the margins. With you, I am not on the outskirts of connection. With you, I am home.
The whisper of the forgotten. God, I am here, but it feels as though I have been forgotten. Not rejected loudly, not cast aside with force, just quietly, slowly, overlooked. I know what it feels like to be left out of conversations, not because of cruelty, but because I was never remembered in the first place. I know the sting of realizing my absence makes no pause, no questioning, no ache in the hearts of others. Days pass, rooms fill, laughter echoes, and no one notices that I was not there. And so, Lord, my soul becomes a whisper, a quiet voice at the edge of the noise, a small presence at the edge of memory, a fragile call that fears fading altogether. God, do you hear me? Do you hear the whisper of the forgotten? Because this is what I feel like, a faint echo, barely reaching anyone's ears. It hurts, Lord. It hurts to know that my name does not surface in their thoughts. It hurts to see others sought after while I wait in silence. It hurts to be the one who remembers everyone else while no one remembers me. And so my voice grows softer, my prayers grow smaller. My soul wonders if one day I will fade entirely. But you, God, you never forget. You write my name on the palms of your hands. You number every hair on my head. You see every tear, even the ones that fall unnoticed in the dark. You remember me when the world forgets. You hold me when memory fails. You carry me when others let go. So tonight, I whisper to you, not because I doubt your hearing, but because whispering is all I have left. And still, I believe it is enough, because even whispers rise to heaven. Even whispers shake the heart of God. Even whispers matter when spoken to the one who never forgets. God, remind me that being forgotten by people does not mean being forgotten by you. Remind me that when silence grows heavy, your presence remains steady. Remind me that though my name may not linger on human lips, it is forever engraved in yours. Lord, when I feel like fading, let me rest in the truth that I am remembered. When I fear being erased, let me know that I am held eternal. When I ache from being overlooked, let me find comfort in your gaze that never turns away. Because the whisper of the forgotten is not wasted in your ears. You hear it, you treasure it, you answer it with love. So tonight, this is my prayer. Even if the world forgets me, let me remember that heaven never will. Even if my soul feels like a whisper, let me trust that it is a song to you. Even if I fade in every other heart, let me rest in yours, where I am seen, known, wanted, remembered. I may be the whisper of the forgotten on earth, but to you, Lord, I am never forgotten. I am always endlessly yours.
The soul that refuses to vanish. God, there is a temptation that presses against me every day. It whispers in the silence, it creeps in the shadows, it tells me to give in. It says, fade away, disappear, stop showing up, stop trying, stop longing, stop hoping. And Lord, I confess, sometimes I want to listen, because the ache of invisibility is heavy. The weight of being unwanted grows unbearable. The endless cycle of knocking, waiting, pretending, and enduring wears me thin. But even in my weariness, something inside refuses to vanish. Something deeper than despair still keeps breathing. Something stronger than silence still whispers, I will not disappear. I am tired, Lord, but I am still here. I am weary, Lord, but I am still praying. I am fragile, Lord, but I am still standing. The world may overlook me, the crowd may forget me, the circle may never open wide enough for me, but I will not vanish because you see me, because you hold me, because even if no one else notices, you never let go. God, this soul of mine belongs to you, and so it refuses to fade into nothing. It refuses to surrender to invisibility. It refuses to let rejection write the final story. I may feel small, but I am still significant. I may feel unwanted, but I am still chosen. I may feel forgotten, but I am still remembered by you. And so, Lord, I ask for strength, not the strength to shine for the world, but the strength to keep existing in the quiet, not the strength to be noticed by many, but the strength to remain known by you, not the strength to prove my worth, but the strength to hold fast to the truth that my worth is already secure in you. God, let my life be like a candle that refuses to go out. The wind may blow, the shadows may rise, the darkness may press in, but still the flame flickers. Still it burns. Still it declares, I am here. I am alive. I am yours. Because disappearing would be easier, but it would also be a lie. You did not make me to vanish. You made me to exist. You made me to breathe. You made me to belong, even if that belonging is only and always in you. So tonight I pray, when the world tempts me to fade, hold me steady. When silence tells me I am nothing, remind me I am everything to you. When invisibility presses against me, let me feel your eyes resting on me. God, I am the soul that refuses to vanish, not because I am strong, but because you are. Not because I am enough, but because you are. Not because I am wanted everywhere, but because I am wanted by you. So let me live as one who endures. Let me breathe as one who belongs. Let me stand as one who whispers into the dark, I am here. I will not vanish. I am God's, and that is enough.
Finding place in God. God, after all the searching, after all the aching, after all the circles that never opened wide enough, after all the doors that closed too quickly, I come to this truth. My place is in you. For so long, I have tried to belong everywhere else. I have bent myself into shapes I was never meant to hold. I have stood at the edges of crowds longing for someone to notice. I have knocked on doors until my hands grew sore. I have whispered in silence, wondering if anyone cared. And still the emptiness followed. Still the loneliness lingered. Still the ache remained. But here, in your presence, in your heart, in your gaze, I find something different. I find a place that cannot be taken, a belonging that does not fade, a home that does not shut its door. God, I belong in you, not as a tolerated guest, not as an afterthought, not as one barely noticed at the edges, but as a child, as one desired, as one chosen, wanted, embraced. You tell me, abide in me, and I will abide in you. You whisper, remain in my love. You declare, you are mine. And suddenly, the ache shifts, the loneliness softens, the searching finds rest. Lord, this is where I find my place, not in the applause of the crowd, not in the approval of friends, not even in the warmth of family, but in the steady love of God. In you, I do not have to pretend. In you, I do not have to perform. In you, I do not have to fear being overlooked, because in you, I am always seen. In you, I am always wanted. In you, I am always home. God, let this truth sink deeper than the wounds. Let it hear the scars of rejection. Let it silence the whispers of invisibility. Let it become the anchor that holds me steady when the world forgets. Because the truth is this: I will never find a perfect place here on earth. No group, no circle, no house, no friendship can carry the weight of my longing. They may give moments of comfort, but not permanence. They may offer glimpses of belonging, but not eternity. Only you can. And so tonight, I choose to rest here. I choose to place my soul in you. I choose to let the ache find its answer in your arms. When the world feels too wide, you are my place. When my body feels like a stranger, you are my place. When my name is forgotten, you are my place. When my soul cries out for home, you are my place. God, let this truth live from this truth. Let me walk into rooms without fear, because my place is already secure. Let me face rejection without despair, because my place cannot be taken. Let me stand in silence without breaking, because my place is unshaken. I am yours. That is my belonging. That is my home. That is my place. So tonight, I whisper this prayer. Thank you, God, that in you I finally rest. Thank you that I no longer wander without anchor. Thank you that I do not have to keep searching for what was always here. Because the place I longed for, the place I ached for, the place I wept for, it was always you.
The belonging that cannot be taken. God, after all the wandering, after all the questions, after all the tears, I come to rest in this truth. There is a belonging that cannot be taken. Not by absence, not by rejection, not by silence, not even by death. It is the belonging that comes from you. For so long, I searched in circles that never opened wide enough. I pressed against doors that closed too soon. I stood at tables where my chair was present, but not saved. I ached for home in places that never held me. But through it all, you whispered, "You belong to me." Through every rejection, you said, "I choose you." Through every silence, you reminded, "I hear you." Through every invisibility, you declared, "I see you." And now, Lord, I understand. The belonging I long for most is not fragile. It is not conditional. It is not dependent on the shifting hearts of people. It is steady. It is eternal. It is found in you. God, I belong to you, not as an afterthought, but as your child. Not as a tolerated guest, but as a beloved one. Not as a voice lost in the noise, but as a soul engraved on your heart. This belonging cannot be stolen, not by those who forget me, not by those who overlook me, not even by the ache of my own doubts, because your love does not waver, your choice does not change, your embrace does not loosen, your home does not close its door. Lord, let me live from this truth. Let me walk through this world not desperate to prove I belong, but secure in knowing I already do. Let me enter rooms without fear, knowing I carry belonging wherever I go. Let me face rejection without despair, knowing my place in you is unshaken. God, I ask for one thing. Let this truth go deeper than the wounds. Let it anchor me more strongly than the ache. Let it shine brighter than the shadows. Let it steady me in the days when loneliness returns, when invisibility whispers, when the old questions rise again. Because the ache may still come, but it no longer defines me. The silence may still hurt, but it no longer consumes me. The rejection may still sting, but it no longer tells the truth about who I am. Who I am is this: I am yours. I am chosen, I am wanted, I am beloved. And this belonging, this eternal, unshakable belonging, can never be taken. So tonight, Lord, I whisper one last prayer. Thank you. Thank you that my wandering is not wasted. Thank you that my aching has led me here. Thank you that my searching ends in you. I may never find perfect belonging in this world, but I have already found it in you. And that is enough. That is forever enough. God, I am home. I am safe. I am wanted. I am yours. And nothing in heaven or on earth can ever take that away.